Vice President Jesus Gonzalez, Clerk Jocelyn Vargas, Joey Acuña Jr., Trinidad Arredondo,
Present.
Valerie Garcia,
Present.
Online.
Present.
Silvia Paz. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on, Dr. Ellis, introduction of new administrators.
How about that? Better? Okay. Tonight, I'd like to, excuse me, introduce you to a couple of our newest members of the Coachella Valley Unified. And we're going to begin with Baker Alush. Would you like to come on up? Baker has been recommended to the board and approved at our last board meeting to be our new Director of Maintenance and Operations. I'd like to say a couple words about Mr. Alush, and then I'll let him introduce himself and welcome as well. So Mr. Alush has a bachelor's degree in business administration and operational management from CSB Long Beach. He has been the assistant director of maintenance and operations in Concord Unified since 2019 until present time now, working here currently. He has also been working for Trucking Bonanza Logistics and been the project manager for communications and technology. He has experience in operations, facilities, and maintenance management, integrated with specific experience in multifaceted management and strategic planning and customer service. He's skilled in troubleshooting and analyzing contracts, budgets, and policies to ensure full compliance, as well as to pinpoint and recommend corrective action on disparities and areas of improvement. He has established policies and procedures that meet all required maintenance standards as required by law and works with administration to ensure compliance with all state federal program permitting laws. We'd like to welcome you to Coachella Valley Unified. We're excited to have you here. Would like to say a couple words?
Thank you very much for inviting me. I would like to thank the community and the school district for giving me this opportunity to serve you. I'm going to give you my word right now. I'm going to give you every day, all day, 100%, 200%. And I will be starting on October 16th. And from day one, I'm going to be hitting the road running to serve you and the community as well. Thank you very much.
And next, I'd like to welcome Senwana Liga, also known as Joanna. So please come on up. She is going to be our new assistant principal for Peter Pendleton Elementary School. Senwana actually comes to us from Peter Pendleton. She was there from 2022, 96 to 2003. Thank you. And so she worked at Peter Pendleton. She's very excited to go back and return there. As currently, she's been serving as a dual language coordinator of special education for English learners since 2010 with Desert Sands. She's also served as the migrant education summer school principal, as well as working for induction of new teacher support provider. And in 2003, she was recognized as Teacher of the Year. We'd like to welcome you back to Coachella. Glad to have you here. It's a pleasure to be coming back to Coachella Unified, where I call it it's a family here. And I'm excited to start my new career as an assistant principal at Peter Pendleton, full circle. So I'm already starting talking to the parents as of this week. So I can't wait to start my role and just to get to meet the parents and the community from Peter Pendleton. So thank you for this opportunity that you've given me. Welcome to both of you. We're excited to have you and look forward to your journey and leadership with us. So welcome.
Thank you. Moving on to the announcement of our selected student board trustees. I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge and thank everybody who was part of the process. I'm very delighted that we welcome our third cohort of student trustees, right? It's been an exciting time to be able to see the development of our students when they first come to the dais compared to when they leave, right? And I think a perfect example of that has been all of our student trustees, but in particular, I want to shout out Alexis Ramirez from West Shore and Stephanie De La Rosa, right, from last year. who came in very shy, right? They were very shy, um, timid, and towards the end of the academic year of their tenure, um, they were running plays, as we still call it, right? They were here, um, expressing their ideas, expressing their concerns, making recommendations, and that's the kind of leadership that we want to develop within our students, right? So I'm very excited to welcome to today Lynette Bautista from Coachella Valley High School. So let's give her a round of applause. Jennifer Saravia from West Shores High School. And Barbara Hernandez from Desert Mirage High School. Welcome to these bright, talented, young student trustee elects. I know that it's going to be an amazing year for us because we get to have you all here. But I also know going to be an amazing year for you all, as you all will get to learn the ins and outs of what it takes to run a school district, what it takes to create policy, and what it means to represent constituents, right, and communities as a whole. I know that each and every one of you all have your own personal beliefs, your own agendas that you want to push for. But this is the time to develop and once you're here in the dais, you're representing your values, your ethics, your moral, but also the community as a whole, right? Which is going to be very, very, very critical for your development as public servants, right? Because this is just the beginning for you all, right? This is just a stepping stone into what waits for you all. And what waits for you all is an amazing career. Of maybe you decided public service is what you want to do, or maybe it scares you away for life, right? And you go into the private sector or God knows what. But this is going to be a very telling year for you all. And I welcome you all. I also want to congratulate our runner-ups, Natividad Ortiz, Noemi Garcia, and Karen Magaña, all who performed amazing and impressed us all here at the dais. I know that it wasn't an easy decision for me, and it wasn't an easy decision for any of us to decide. Right? I think when we listen and we look at our students, we wish to give everybody the opportunity to. We wish to give everybody the same opportunity, right? I wish that we could have hundreds of seats here to be able to listen to all of you all. But you all were selected because of your passion, your style, your leadership, and we all see something in you all, right? So welcome, welcome, and congratulations once again. Do any of my colleagues want to say something? Go ahead, Mr. Aralon.
Yeah, just want to congratulate everybody who's part of the process and the students here for us today. We look forward to you sitting with us up on the dais and sharing your thoughts on how um, how we better our students. So looking forward to it.
Well, congratulations and welcome. The only advice I give you is keep your mind. That's what we expect of you. We need to hear from you. Doesn't matter if you agree with us or not. But we need to hear from you. So I'll try not to be that bad of an influence. But you have Board Member Garcia on the other side. Who's a good cop on the back cop. So that's kind of how it works. But welcome on board. And again, I think the board, myself included, look forward to hearing from you, engaging. And as our president said, some of the trustees kind of take a little bit to get started. I hope you guys don't need the time to get started. We want you guys to jump right in from the beginning. Welcome and keep you guys up here.
Gonzalez.
I want to thank President Galarza for this idea, right? It was simply an idea. He shared it, I believe, with every board member that he believed that the student participation was important so that we could hear what was important to you. Because I know that in your report, I like the fact that you guys update us on a lot of the positive things that are happening in school and the things that concern you, right? Whether it be nutrition or whatever might be going on your campus. So that information is very valuable to us as we sit here and we try to create policy that's going to be the best for the students who come to school here at our school district. But the courage that it took for our board president, who was a young man himself, it wasn't a long time that, okay, it hasn't been a long time that he was in high school at Desmerad. And I think that's why he had the compassion and recognized the need that we needed a student voice up here. So, like Mr. Acuna said, we look forward to having you up here. And I think it's a great learning opportunity, as President Donnie said, you know, and keeping your mind and letting people know, and maybe sometimes even the small talk, not looking at us as older people or board members, but really developing relationships. Because you never know what you're going to need in the future. And there might be somebody up here that might be able to help you along and how you go forward in your life, whether it be a letter of recommendation as you go to college, a recommendation for a job in the future. Hey, I know that guy. I actually was student trustee, or I know that lady. I was student trustee. Do you remember me? It's how you network, right? I tell my kids all the time that money spends one time. Relationships last forever. And what's most important as you go forward is not be in a hurry and build relationships. Because that's what's going to push you through your life to find success. But look, congratulations to all of you. I told Dr. Valentino in a text that I supported each and every one of you. And it didn't matter to me who ultimately was selected, but I just thought the fact that students would be here representing the 3 high schools that we have would be an amazing benefit to how we go forward. So welcome, and thank you again, President Galarza, for the imagination and for this possibility. Thank you.
Ms. Vargas.
I'll be brief. That's great advice. Yeah, congratulations to everybody. Yeah, please, you know, personally, I'm here to support you in whatever way I can, both, you know, personally and academically. So please do reach out. It does take a lot of courage to step up, so I admire you all for doing that. And yeah, just take advantage of this opportunity and work here to help.
Go ahead. Oh, Valerie, do you have something to say? Very good.
Can you hear me?
We can't hear her.
Can you hear me now that I'm talking? Anybody?
Can't hear you yet. I'll let you know.
Okay. Okay. Thank you to all of the students who came out last meeting and spoke to us with
Okay.
such.
We can't hear you, Valerie. The crowd on Zoom can hear.
Okay.
Do you say something?
Yes, I was talking.
Can hear you a little bit. Can you guys put up the volume? Go ahead.
Oh, now I can hear everybody much better. That's awesome. Can you guys hear me now? Maybe.
Can you guys turn it up? We can hear you very, very lightly.
Okay. That's the way it was for me. It sounded very lightly to hear all of you. But if Zoom can hear me, I thank all of the students who came out and spoke to us last meeting. It took a lot of courage and character to talk to us. Those weren't easy questions, and you all fielded them so well. So I'm proud of each and every one of you for even coming out and speaking to us. It was nerve-wracking, I'm sure. And I'm so looking forward to working with the trustees who we have chosen. It's going to be a great year. So I really look forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll turn it over to Dr. Williams for introduction, and I will come down for the swearing ceremony.
All right, so now is the time to be sworn in. So first, we will have Lynette Bautista come up and be sworn in. Mr. Galarza will meet you up here in the front.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, this is for you. Hold it. Okay, your right hand up. Repeat after me. Oh, sorry, your other right. Repeat after me. I, Lynette Bautista,
I, Lynette Bautista,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties
the duties
upon which I am about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Trustee Bautista.
Thank you.
Next up, we have our Wildcat from West Shores High School, Jennifer Sarabia.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Put your right hand. Thank you. I, Jennifer Sarabia,
I, Jennifer Sarabia,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
and defend
and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the
State of California,
State of California
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
and that I will bear true faith
and that I will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and to the Constitution of California,
and that I take this obligation freely
and that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of invasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
upon which I am about to enter.
of which I am upon to enter.
Upon which I am about to enter. Salah.
Duties upon which I am about to enter.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You sign right there, yeah. Congratulations. Once again.
Next up, we have our Desert Mirage Ram from Desert Mirage High School, Barbara Hernandez Rebello.
Congratulations. Please raise your right hand. I, Bárbara Hernández Robelledo,
I, Bárbara Hernández
Rebolledo, I'm sorry, do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties
the duties
upon which I am about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter.
Thank you. Congratulations. You want to make it official, don't you?
Right.
Sign it there. Congratulations. Once again. Come on.
Yep. I also wanted to thank the principals here tonight too. We have Miss Sanchez from CV High School, Miss Sotelo from Desert Mirage High School, and Miss Mejorado from West Shores High School. Thank you guys for celebrating with us.
Sorry.
Principals, that are very good. We just think an individual, yeah, it's really. Good, sir. Come like that, sure. Yeah. Good job. Good stuff. Before we go into closed session, I'd like to give our student trustee electeds, or our student trustees now, the opportunity to say something. Trustee Hernandez, trustee, I'm still learning our names, I'm sorry. Trustee Bautista or trustee Sarabia, do you all wish to say anything to the board before we wrap up this? So, would you all like to say something? Some remarks? Oh, there you go.
I don't think I need it.
Yeah, for the people on Zoom.
Oh, okay. I'd like to just say thank you for the opportunity. I'm really excited for what's to come. And I think that me and along with Barbara and Jennifer will do a very good job at serving our communities and everyone in between.
That's all.
I would just like to say thank you very much to giving us all this opportunity to be able to express ourselves on the board alongside with very open-minded people, because I feel like allowing a student or several students to be at a certain level of conversation with you is very open-minded of you all. And I just want to say that I'm very excited to see what we can all do in Junction to help out and serve a good part in the board. Thank you.
Thank you.
I would like to thank you all for this opportunity to be able to be a part of something incredibly big with all of you. I am sure we're all going to be able to accomplish great things as a whole, and I cannot wait to see it.
Awesome. Great, thank you. Thank you all. It's gonna be amazing. So at this time, we'll move on to closed session public comments. We do have one comment. This time is an opportunity for members of the public to address any items on the closed session agenda. Please remember that comments are limited to 3 minutes, 20 minutes per subject matter, and the board is not always at liberty of responding or taking action on items not listed on the adopted agenda. Carissa Carrera?
Thank you. Good evening, President Galarza, Superintendent Dr. Valentino, trustees and cabinet. CVTA has taken the time to review the unaudited actuals for the 22-23 school year, and we have a few items we wanted to point out. Last year, we were told at the bargaining table that the district was going to be deficit spending and could not afford what CVTA was asking for. Several trustees stated something similar, and I'm paraphrasing, but I believe it was stated more than once that anything above 5% would break the district. Last year, you had 15.22% in reserves and projected to spend it down to 11%. Yet according to the unaudited actuals, you actually increased your reserves to 17.15%. Clearly, you did not go broke, nor did you deficit spend. This year, we are again being told that the reserves will be spent down. Should we believe you? You project that the 17.15% will be spent down to 12.88%. We are being told that the monies are encumbered, but is there an actual plan for that spending? Because planning and doing are two different things. There are a few items we find questionable in this year's budget. Last year in books and supplies, you spent 16 million, and this year you are projected to spend 38 million, double of last year. I would like to request a breakdown of your plan for that line item, please, because again, planning and doing are not the same thing. Last year in services and other, you spent 1 million in travel and conferences, and this year you are projecting to spend 5 million. I would like to request a breakdown of that plan as well, because while it would be amazing to send our staff to these conferences, we don't believe that's the actual plan. Finally, in bargaining unit salaries, you show 11% more to be spent for this year than last year. The unaudited actuals already include last year's raise, so this is 11% more projected to be spent this year. Is this 11% built in to plan for this year's raise? We know that is not the case because it was stated to us at our very first bargaining session. The district does not plan to propose a salary increase this year. It appears you are encumbering money once again so that it does not show as available money. This is dishonest, it's manipulative, and it is not transparent. It's time to ensure our students receive the best education possible, and numerous studies have shown that the greatest impact on student achievement is high-quality teachers. Instead, we get subs. It is disheartening to sit on multiple interview panels only to have the candidates canceling last minute because they've already chosen a job in another district. Last year, we began the year with 35 vacancies. This year, we had more than 50. Your plan for last year did not work. I do believe we can work together with transparency and collegialism in order to do better for our students, if this board is so inclined. Thank you for your time.
I'll entertain a motion to enter into closed session.
I'll move. Oh, I motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
All right.
I
Any abstain? Motion carries. We'll be back at 6:30. We'll let you all know if we stay after. Can I get a motion to return to open session?
So move.
Motion by Mr. Gonzalez.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstain? Student trustee, how do you vote? So right now, we're voting to adopt the agenda. Whenever there's a vote, I'll go ahead and take everybody's vote. Or I'll take your vote first, and then I'll go ahead and take everybody else's vote. But your vote will always be separate from the main. Okay, so I'll do it afterwards, and then we'll start getting it.
Real quick, I know you kind of ran through it. I wanted to pull some items.
No, we haven't adopted the agenda.
Okay, which one? This one?
Back
Just close.
Yeah, motion to open, yeah.
Okay, sorry, got a little confused.
Madam Clerk, any action taken in closed session?
Yes, the board took the following action in closed session, approved expulsion case number 23/24-001. For stipulated expulsion, motion was made by trustee Arredondo, seconded by trustee Gonzalez, motion carried 6-0. Approved expulsion case number 23/24-002 for stipulated expulsion, motion was made by trustee Arredondo, seconded by trustee Gonzalez, motion carries 6-0. And the last item, the board took action in closed session, approves expulsion case number 23/24-003 for stipulated expulsion. Motion was made by trustee Arredondo, seconded by trustee Gonzalez, and the motion carried 6-0.
Thank you. Okay. Action item 5.3, approval of agenda submitted.
Like to make a motion and pull my.
Go ahead, sir.
Item 13.3, 13.5, 13.6, 13.7, 13.8, 13.9, 13.
I'd just like to see if you can make an amendment. So 13.10, to my understanding, those are state funded positions, trustee Acuna. And I would just wonder, since there's no, they do not affect the budget.
Have that discussion, decide what to do during.
Okay.
That's an
Yeah, that's fine.
motion. So I'll second the amendment to the motion also.
Can you repeat
Or your
the
motion
item?
with. Pull 13.3, 13.5, 13.6, 13.7, 13.8, and 13.9. We can keep the other one not have a discussion.
Okay. There's a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Trustee Hernandez?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries 5-0. 6-0 now. We have our trustee Garcia on the line. 6-0 student trustee in favor. Moving on to public comment, open session. This time is a moment for the public to address the board on items on the agenda and items not on the agenda. Please remember that public comments are limited to 3 minutes per person, 20 minutes per subject matter, and the board is not always at liberty of responding or taking action on items not listed on the adopted agenda. With that would be said, I'll have Dionisia Esteban.
She left.
Okay. Raquel Flores, Rachel Flores. Rachel or Raquel, I'm sorry.
Rachel.
Thank you, Rachel.
Can I move? Okay, hi. Good evening, CVUSD School Board, parents, students, and staff. My name is Rachel Flores. I'm a teacher at John Kelly Elementary. Tonight, I am here speaking on behalf of all the staff members, all the students, and all the parents at John Kelly about a matter of great concern, health to our students. We are concerned about the asbestos that is located throughout all the original buildings of John Kelly. The significant rainfall from the recent storms was beyond anyone's expectations. There has been evidence of flooding at John Kelly, which may have adversely impacted asbestos exposure. While some rooms had more obvious flooding damage, we are concerned about all the rooms where visible water damage could not be observed. For example, my classroom, although not flooded, showed signs of slight water leakage from the windows down to the wall. We would like to see that the asbestos has not only been inspected on all school buildings, but sampled as well. I have been requesting information from my administration, including access to our school's asbestos management plan. On September 6th, I contacted my administration as an informal grievance for Article 13.1, Safety Conditions of Employment. While waiting for a response, I continued to reach out to admin and requested via email to see the asbestos management plan on September 13th. As I am sure you are aware, the asbestos management plan is required by the Environmental Protection Agency, Section 763.93. This plan is required because of the Asbestos Hazardous Emergency Response Act, also known as the AHERA. Under Section 763.93, each school shall ensure that the asbestos management plan is available to the public, including staff and parents. When the asbestos management plan is requested, the school has 5 business days to present the plan. It has now been 8 working days, and we have not seen the plan. I did receive an email response from Maria McLeod on September 25th with notes from Mr. Victor Labastida, the Management Operations Supervisor. This is still not the asbestos management plan I have requested. In the email, Mr. Labastida stated the tests were done on specific locations, but they came back negative. Per the AHERA, we are entitled to see the results that Mr. Labastida is referring to. The staff, students, and parents in John Kelly have a right to all inspection reports, past and present. I would also like to add that the AHERA requires yearly notification to staff and parents on the availability of the school's asbestos management plan and any asbestos-related actions taken planned by the school. This is my 3rd year teaching at John Kelly, and I have yet to see such notification. Additionally, as a parent whose child attends John Kelly, I have not seen any kind of notification as the parent. We are not seeking to ascribe blame for any wrongdoing, but merely to ascertain that due diligence is exercised in the face of the preliminary evidence of potential asbestos harm. Once again, the entire John Kelly community is requesting transparency. Not only is it our right, it is the right thing to do. This lack of due diligence has the potential to cause immediate, severe, and irreparable harm to the students whose very health and welfare is entrusted to us. On behalf of us, all of us at John Kelly, I thank you for your time. I trust that you will do the responsible thing by handling this situation in a timely manner. Thank you very much.
Do we have any written communications? Thank you. Board member reports. We'll start off with you, Joey. Kick us off. Mr. Cunha.
Well, good evening, everyone. Once again, I want to congratulate our student trustees and also want to thank their parents as well, because I know a lot of them are going to be helping you move around and do a lot of stuff. And so I want to thank them ahead of time as well for all their support for their students. Not a lot to report. I did have an opportunity to visit a couple of school sites. Seems to be going fairly smooth. Happy to report that no major transportation complaints so far this year, keeping our fingers crossed. A few calls of confusion as to where the buses are during the storms and that kind of stuff. But other than that, fairly well. I know we put up a lot of new air conditioners over the summer, and for some reason, when the rain hit, a lot of them aren't working. Some of the classrooms are still a little muggy. I know you guys are working on that, but other than that, I think it's going fairly well. Our students, for the most part, are behaving and doing well. Not all, unfortunately, but most of them. And I believe our parents have been very supportive, and the feedback that I've gotten, while they have questions about lots of things as parents do, they're fairly happy with the start of the school year. So other than that, I know there's a volleyball tournament on Saturday, Aces volleyball tournament on Saturday. So anybody want to go out there and see a few hundred, possibly 1,000 students and parents and stuff out there, go have a good day. And you can actually get a lot of information from parents when they're standing around waiting for their kids to play their next game. So thank you. And that's my report.
Thank you. We'll come back to our student trustee. Mr. Arredondo?
Yes, I'd like to just welcome everybody that's here and welcome those that are on Zoom. So I had a chance to visit a few schools throughout the week as well. I visited Valle del Sol, and it was very good to be there. I do want to report that I noticed that 3 awnings need to be replaced in the playground, and I think the kids really sort of could benefit from that. And then there was doors with wood on it. I hope that the doors can be glass can be put back on the doors. I know there was some vandalism at Valle del Sol, but I just don't like to see doors with wood on them. So if that could be addressed, that'd be great. I'm just gonna sort of echo my comments as to some of the plans or some of the things that have been requested of me I'll continue to bring them up. I know that a lot of our schools need to be painted. I know John Kelly is set to be painted, so I'd like to see a report myself as to before we paint John Kelly to make sure that everything is on track. I'd also like to just also advocate again for Bobby Duke. They can continue to tell me that school needs to be painted, and that those are schools that students continue to students would like to see those buildings painted. Also, they have a plan. Dr. Valentino, I'd like for you to meet with school counselors along with Dr. Esparza to talk about possibly starting at 8 a.m. as a walk-only school. And I, with all due respects to labor and how we handle those things, I'm just asking that we meet with them to see, because they have an idea of what best fits their needs at Bobby Duke. So I'd like to just continue to advocate for that. With all respect to labor and what needs to happen. Obviously, we're not making a decision, just my comments today. But other than that, I'd like to thank everybody for the work that you're doing, all our staff and staff, teachers, all our workers that are here at our school and doing the best that they can. There's a lot of things that we need to continue to do. And then I'll just continue to advocate till it happens. I'd like to see a new scoreboard at Coachella Valley High School. I know that we have something temporary up right now. Half the scoreboard is working. I'd like to see a brand new scoreboard there because our parents were asking when we were out there. And I'll just continue to ask until I see. I know I've heard we will be having a scoreboard, but I'd like to see it too. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Vargas?
Just want to welcome Barbara to the dais. We're excited to have every one of the students with us. And my only comment or report, I'll be attending CLSBA.
CLSBA, yep.
Yes, this week with a number of folks, so I'm excited for that. That's it.
Mr. Gonzalez? Welcome. I have no report. Thank you. Thank you. Ms. Garcia?
Sorry, no report.
Thank you. Trustee Hernandez?
I will be providing the report for the Coachella Valley High School, DMHS, and West Shores High School. I will begin with CV. Academically, they are going through the WAS cycle from October 15th to 18th. This will be an excellent time for them to showcase all the great happenings in their mighty Arab community. Their athletics are starting off really well. Their fall sports football is off to a great start with a record of 4-0. Their volleyball is off to a great start as well, dropping one match so far through one round of action and an overall league record of 8-1. Their cross-country team has participated in 2 weekend invitationals and the first of 3 DVL meets, and were pleasantly surprised with how some of the newcomers to the team were shone bright. Their girls tennis is off at the same start as the rest of their teams, going 8-1 through DVL play. They continue to make CVHS proud. Their girls golf is undefeated in league play, and they look primed to take the DVL title against this year with strong play by their trio seniors, Gemma Gonzalez, Irene Hernandez, and Jelisa Felix. Their ASB held their club rush on September 12 and 13 and were able to showcase all of their campus clubs and organizations. They will continue to welcome the WAS committee on October 15 and are currently preparing for their homecoming parade, pep rally, and dance. Their programs, their CVHS academies and pathways were awarded the Golden Belt Award for promoting excellence in education. And CVHS was awarded one of America's healthiest schools, one of 14 schools in the nation. CVHS stands out as an all-star for meeting the highest standards across all 9 focus areas of social emotional health and learning, cultivating staff well-being, and increasing family and community engagement. Now for DM, as for their academics, their grade level assemblies were held by admin and counselors to review expectations, student involvement guidelines. ID usage continues to be enforced. 6 counselors were recently able to attend a leadership network conference in Riverside Convention Center and California State University Conference Center. Counselors met as well with all 12 graders to discuss evaluation for graduation, A through G requirements, and post-secondary options. Senior assemblies will be held this Friday on September 29th, focusing on college, career, and scholarship opportunities. And graduation evaluations were mailed home. Their athletics are doing really well as well. Their football currently is at a 3-2, which includes winning the first 3 games for the first time since 2015.
Oh.
And they are preparing for the upcoming homecoming dance and game on October 6th. Their girls volleyball team has a record of 12-5 and is in position to make the playoffs for the 3rd consecutive season. Girls golf has the most participants we have had in a long time. DM will be hosting the girls DVL finals at Terra Lago later this month and look forward to putting on a nice event. Girls tennis currently stands with a record of 1-7. Cross country just completed the first league meet and did pretty well. They will be going to Huntington Beach this Saturday for an invitational. Their ASB recently held their senior sunrise on September 1st, as well as Club Rush on September 13th. They are currently working on preparation for the homecoming game scheduled for October 6th and the homecoming dance for October 7th. For their programs, their avid community recently met with their parents on September 21st. They went over general and AP and honors expectations, upcoming field trips, such as the 11th grade field trip to Cal State Fullerton on what I believe is October 2nd. Avid tutoring has begun between all grade levels. 10 students volunteered to help supporting finding doctors on September 23rd. 12th graders have begun CCGI lessons, requesting letters of recommendation and scholarship applications, as well as their World's Finest Chocolate fundraiser begins on October 22nd. Their Puente program is currently working on scheduling Puente meetings and Puente Senior Night for October. They have begun UC and common applications for college and are about to begin with Cal State applications. As for their academies, their health academy recently helped with the Flying Doctors on September 23rd as well. And 11 DM Health Academy students worked with CV students right alongside with medical professionals. They were able to get hands-on experience alongside doctors. Their CT dance began East Valley Dance Project auditions today, September 27th. And their aviation program is currently exploring internship possibilities with Palm Springs Aviation Museum, which includes mechanics as well. Their Green Academy will hold a Green Kickoff Rally this Friday, September 29th during first and second period. Their Lean Crew recently hosted the 9th grade orientation, which had 190 freshmen attending. 64 upperclassmen leaders will hold a mixer in our freshman seminar classes to begin mentoring. And their Gens Alliance has 32 male students who will be attending their Gens Alliance kickoff event on September 29th, this Friday at UCR in the campus for Palm Desert. Now for West Shores, for their academies, for their academics, their school has administered iReady assessments for this current school year. There was also a reclassification of 40 students. In order to congratulate them, they are preparing recognition awards and organizing a dinner for them and their family. In addition, they have had a very successful family meeting where families learned about the benefits from the AVID program and requirements to participate. As for their fall sports, football has recently won their first game on Friday 22nd against Warner and won the Warner Bowl. This means it's their second consecutive win. Their last home game in senior night will be on October 13th. Their girls volleyball has officially won their first home game just yesterday against Julian Eagles. This means they're on their second win of the season. Their cross country team has given their all, and they're incredibly proud of them. Their girls cheer team has performed at the last football home game and will do so for the next games. Their Aces cheer has also performed at Aces tournaments, and Aces also recently had a dodgeball tournament. Their ASB leadership has made a successful pep rally on Friday 22nd for both middle school and high school. They are currently working on a college fair that will be occurring on October 11th, and their senior sunrise on September 29th, as long as with their homecoming dance. Their programs, such as Lean Crew, had a kickoff earlier this month, and in order to connect with their freshmen and upperclassmen of the high school, currently Link Crew members have organized a link lunch for October 3rd. Many more activities will be organized for them. They have inaugurated their college and career center with presentations from UC Merced and from UC Berkeley for 11th and 12th graders. PSAT signups have now been open and students have been advised. That is the end of my report. Thank you.
Thank you for a very thorough report. It's amazing. It's amazing to hear about all the great things that are happening at all of our high schools. And I applaud you for coming very prepared. It's I think every year our students are coming more and more prepared to their first meeting. So good job. My report. I don't got much to report. I just want to say we're a couple weeks into the start of the new academic year, actually almost a month. And just want to thank everybody for making it possible to get this far. And like Mr. Acuna said, I haven't heard of many major issues. Yes, we've hit bumps in the road, challenges, but overall, I think there's been a lot of improvement from previous years. I want to thank our staff, teachers who are here, and those who are not here. I saw the blue shirt when I was driving in, and I got a little PTSD, right? I didn't know I didn't know what was gonna happen, but no, thank you all for all your hard work. And I look forward to a very successful year with all of us here, and I hope I know we'll do amazing things together. So thank you all. Moving on to our Ms. Garcia. Yes, she said nothing to report, right? Yes, correct. Awesome. Moving into superintendent's report.
Thank you, President Clarkson. Just really briefly, welcome, student trustee Barbara Hernandez. Looking forward to working with you. And the meetings that we have in between our meetings will hopefully be very fruitful for you as well. Thank you to Flying Doctors who were at DM High School this weekend. They served over 400 families in our local communities, everything from eye exams, physicals, teeth cleanings, and the pharmacists were also there. What was even more important was that they received referrals. If it could not be taken care of there were referrals that were made. And many staff members, not only the students, but many staff members were there helping out as well. So thank you all for being there and providing that support. There was a successful job fair at Fantasy Springs this past weekend. So thank you, Fantasy Springs, for creating that space for multiple agencies from across the county, but also our staff was there, HR, working closely with our CSEA partners and CVTA partners. They had a large number of candidates who showed up. Teachers were hired, as well as a number of classified candidates who signed up to be interviewed and take their test. So it was quite successful. And finally, believe it or not, the scoreboard is actually on order, and there is actually a timeline for when it will be arriving this semester and be installed. I know all of you have been waiting forever to get a new scoreboard up, but it actually is somewhere between here and where it's being manufactured, so that it'll get here and it'll be installed. That's all I have. West Shores. And West Shores is next, Miss. So it's okay? You heard it here. Thank you.
Thank you. So moving on to information, public hearing for 2023-2024 pupil textbooks and material compliance. I'm supposed to open up the public hearing?
If there are any comments.
Yeah, at this moment, I open a public hearing for the 2023-2024 pupil textbooks and material compliance at 7:24. Do we have anybody from the public? Okay, I'll give it a minute just to close it. I'm waiting for the time to change.
A moment of silence.
Yeah.
All right.
Longest minute of my life.
As we wait for somebody to come on, we were very successful with Williams this year.
Awesome.
Thank you. Public hearing closed at 7:25. Thank you. Moving on to presentations, Dr. Williams.
Right. Good evening, Board President, Mr. Galarza, Board Vice President, Mr. Gonzalez, Board Trustees, and Dr. Valentino, Superintendent and Cabinet. Good evening. Tonight, I'll be talking about financial literacy. They're exciting opportunities for our students. But first, I wanted to start with a video. So if the guys could start up with the video. I just received this video last week from our team, from our students from Desert Mirage High School.
Oh, look, it looks like I got a notification in my phone. It says that I spent over $100 on eBay. That's weird. I never go to eBay. Wow. It says here that I spent over $100 on David Fayan's products. That's so weird. I would never buy anything from that or the man's products.
Right, so it's about autonomous banking, but a very important thing like that guys. They have no such ways to have to actually process finding no gains and etc.
There are at least 8 different kinds of words in which we want to make it.
That helps. Now, when there's large amount of out of bank account, depending on how many happen, something activity. These alerts also help with the checking, savings, and marketing accounts.
Now, not for just a very different thing. It helps get alerts that we get about what spending or the transaction to get alerts on. This helps us ensure that no alerts ever go on. Large ATM withdrawal alerts us when a big cash withdrawal takes place. Also, a way to know if instantly your money is taken away from your account.
Your card will also have a list of tracking purchases if you have more than one bank account. The bank will notify you if purchases are being made in one or more of your bank accounts in the bank. Provide trainer. This helps you be alerted when your information is the risk of being threatened by a data breach or scam. In order to protect yourself from cyber attacks, you could change your password or download the identified theft protection software.
Things can help you. Now, when bills are due, payments and other things are due. They can also alert you when you have subscriptions that you're not subscribed to, or you forgot that they're still in. So that alerts you if your money is still being closed.
Well, it's it's on the phone, right? So I just go on my phone. Got my card now. I'm constantly paying for get my money back. Situation. What thing I have a list on it.
Now you know all the way those to help you on your company.
So that was from our financial literacy students at Desert Mirage High School, sent over by David Payan. So thank you, David. So tonight I'll go through a few slides, talk about the things that we've implemented, and then kind of do an overall for us. So why is financial literacy crucial? We all understand it's a complex financial landscape out there. We have there's debt management, there's multiple opportunities for entrepreneurship to start a business, to close a business, how to open up, to invest. Reducing financial stress also is a outcome for financial literacy. And our topics, these are the topics that the standards that they're saying are out there for all students to know before they leave high school. So income, budgeting, banking, starting a business, investments, credit, insurance, paying for college. And so those are the topics that we want to make sure that all students understand before they get through high school. So we have designed a few classes right now. They're the sections are moving and students are in these classes. So entrepreneurship, and you could see the topics that entrepreneurship, and we've had entrepreneurship for a few years. So it's in our CTE pathway, and students have been taking this class for last, I think, eight years. And so you could see the topics in there: sales forecasting, leadership development, expenses. Last year, we started up a world of work. So this is in our CTE. It just started last year. It's in its second year. So budgeting and risk, entrepreneurship, mindset, leadership. So you can see some of the topics for world of work. And we also increased it one more time with business math, green energy. And so again, the banking, the investments, the capital gains, the credits. So you see the topics in there for those classes. So that's in our CTE pathways. Now in our math pathways, and we designed a financial literacy math course at the top for seniors at this point. And so we just introduced that this year, and that was the class that the students were in. So they're right now in the banking unit, and so they're going through banking. They're probably already started the stocks and bonds portfolio. So looking at investments, and then they're going to go through starting a business and credit, and you see all the topics there. We have another class that is UCOP. It's actually A to G qualified. And so that is an elective class at the top of the kind of student base. They could take it probably in their junior, senior year. So in that choice area. And so it is an elective class, and it has all of those topics again going through, and students can elect to take that class. The other pathway that we're looking at increasing the student financial literacy mindset is in our iMath 1. So in our math pathway. So this year we have 1,200 students, all iMath 1 students have gone through. In the first 3 weeks, it was income. And so it was interesting when I went through those classes. I've been in all these classes, and the students are saying, my parents were getting mad at me because I went home and I asked them about their paycheck. can I see your paycheck? And so they didn't want to reveal their paycheck to their child, but it all of a sudden opened up those conversations with the parents and the students. And so income, and you could see the topics in there, and I'm going to list those topics. So income, gross net taxes, pay stub, budgeting, living expenses, inflation, coupons, debt, banking, and then how banks make money, opening a bank account. So that's this year. We have about 1,200 students taking iMath 1 right now. And so those are the topics that are in that iMath 1 course. The future next year, looking to possibly, if approved, would be the iMath 2 course, and then the following year, iMath 3 course. So that's in the math pathway. So now I wanted to just give you a kind of a historic look at what it looks like for financial literacy, how it actually ramped up quite a bit for this year. So you go back to 2018-19, we talked about an entrepreneurship class. So those were the classes that was rolling back since 2018. We added last year World of Work. This year, so there's where we added the personal finance class, the financial literacy, and then the math class, business green, and then we also had the World of Work and entrepreneurship. And then next year, we're looking at the iMath 2 if approved. So then you could see the pathway. Now looking at a 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade. So this is kind of looking at academic plans. Doesn't have science, doesn't have all the other English courses on there. We just want to look at the financial opportunities for our students. So in 9th grade, they would get the iMath 1 course with the topics. They can also have a CTE elective. So they could take those CTE classes in their freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year. And then their sophomore year, the iMath 2 launching 2024 year. So that's next year. And then iMath 3 launching in 25-26. And also we have that personal finance class that's out there for the elective. And then the math class, financial literacy, the one in the green, the darker green, that's a math class. And then personal finance for the 12th grade, that's out there. So expanding our financial literacy, also we have middle school, we have a CCGI, financial lessons, that's out there that we're implementing. We have a structured implementation for CCGI financial lessons. Future financial math applications, CalKids accounts. And so that's actually the state of California has provided $500 for those who qualify for the CalKids account. They sign up for that and then they get the $500 if they qualify, $1,000 if they qualify in another area, and $1,500 if they qualify in one more area. So again, why is financial literacy crucial? We understand the complex financial landscape that's out there. Debt, managing your debt, there's security options, starting a business and reducing financial stress. So next steps for the CVUSD board. So this is what I thought about kind of giving you some ideas here. So approval for the senior director, secondary ed to continue to move forward with what the pathway that we're on, developing the iMath applications, or keeping the new financial literacy sections and keep adding new financial literacy sections that are in our master schedule at this point, increase that, but then stop the iMath financial applications and work to design for all students to take financial literacy class and make it a grad requirement. So that'd be the couple options in talking points. Okay, questions?
Any questions from our board members? I'd like to hear from our student trustee on this one. Sorry to call you out, but what do you think about what you just heard about this?
Well, I've been seeing how students have been liking the financial literacy class, and apparently they've been working a lot in projects, and everyone is pretty interesting. At least from what I've heard from different students, they're pretty interested on the topics that are being brought up, because it's nothing of what we are shown throughout different courses. Like, it's really, wait, I'm actually gonna need this in the future. This is actually something I'm gonna need. And there are students who are encouraging other students to taking this class next year, even though it just started, because they do feel like it may be essential and it may be something that they will actually use in the future.
Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other questions from our board members?
Yeah,
Dr. Williams, thank you for your work. I mean, it's cool that we're burning the candle at all ends, right?
Mhm.
But I think I got on this idea when I first got here. I thought the most important thing we can do, and it's really powerful to hear from a current student that these are things that they're not learning and that they recognize that it's important, right? And your model, we're doing it in certain pathways, right? Whether it be IMath or we're doing it with CTE. The question is how many people are actually seeing this, and I almost feel like sometimes more is less. And I would encourage that we could get to a point where we could make it mandatory in order to graduate from our school district that the kids complete a 1-semester class that's A through G, right? But it is required to graduate from our school district that has topics like income, budgeting, banking, starting a business, investments, credit, insurance risk. When you start talking about credit, the importance of credit score. How many of our kids are going out, leaving home, college students being offered a credit card, not understanding the obligation of what it is to pay 24, 26% on borrowed money and end up in debt with bad credit under the age of 25. Your dreams of potentially owning a home, you wiped them out for at least another 5 years. Even if you had the money, you're not going to get there. So we need to add maybe to that what it is to buy a home. What is it to qualify to buy a home? What is it to qualify real estate? How is it you buy a piece of land? How do you borrow money to borrow a piece of land? And what are the challenges that you need to go through when you buy a physical structure and you're buying a vacant piece of land? And I think if we can get, and I'm talking about quickly because we've been waiting. When we achieve the 7th period, I thought this was going to be imminent. We need a program that is condensed, that addresses these issues. Maybe the school district gives every senior or every sophomore, wherever we make it. I like it at the sophomore year, much like we used to do health and driver's ed. Maybe it's junior year, but when we target it, maybe we do a lab where we give every kid $20 to invest in penny stock and have that as part of the lab, have them make decisions on how they're going to invest and look at what they end up with at the end of the year. I know we could also engage banking institutions that would donate to start bank accounts for every senior that's graduating from the school. I think we can get, the Merrill Lynches of the world to come and do what they can do to help, maybe in seminars. There's a lot of professional people that have done great things in the money world that are part of our school district. And so I would like to see a 1-semester class, right? Mandatory, A through G qualified, where every child that goes through our school district would actually achieve that class.
Right. Ms. Vargas?
I have a couple questions. This is great. I wanted to ask, the financial, do all of these courses meet like a math requirement or a graduation requirement?
The financial literacy class, yes, that is a math class. And then IMath 1 obviously is the math class. Personal finance is A to G. It is eligible for A to G, and that's an elective.
Okay. And then I think my other question is around considering that math is a significant challenge. I mean, even at the higher education, right? It's a very big indicator whether someone's going to be successful or complete their degree. I'm curious to see how maybe some of these courses prepare students to meet kind of that first college level math class. If that's something that we're thinking about, just trying to see how there's a pathway from one of these paths, right, to prepare them to go into a college level math.
That's kind of the trigger that we're really trying to hit with that IMath 1 too, because sometimes it's so heavy in math, and maybe they could see the financial applications and they go, aha, they have that aha moment to really trigger in. Oh, let me try a little bit harder in this IMath 1 and then IMath 2, IMath 3. Yeah.
I think my last question, I know we have a number, I know Trustee Arredondo has mentioned we have enough, I don't know what the data looks like more recently, students who need a math to graduate. Do we know what that looks like? And
All students need 30 credits to graduate.
okay. But do we,
They're at 3 classes.
trying to phrase my question.
How short are we?
No,
on-
like I guess it's more of the success rate. Like, if students are failing in like a regular,
Yeah.
in a regular
yeah.
math class, but if they can
Yeah.
take one of these to fulfill the math
It's
requirement.
too high.
Okay.
It's too high. That's where that's kind of that second angle that we're trying to get with one, we get the financial literacy that really helps them, but it also triggers in to that mathematics. So then they can pass that class. They get that motivation, they get engaged, they get kind of inspired to take that math 1 as they start hearing these topics. Hey, this is something that I will use. So
All right.
I don't know if I answered your question.
If not,
No,
I'll ask you later. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Arredondo.
Yeah, I just want to thank you, Dr. Williams, for the work that you're doing. I know that it's sometimes difficult to get everything in there that we're asking for, but I know that in the curriculum committee, we've been talking about financial literacy for a long time, and I think we're scheduled to meet again, also discuss it. But yeah, I would just like to see the data and what it shows in terms of our students successfully passing, these courses, because I think it's important to understand what also our students in terms of the curriculum that we choose. But the topics are great. I think it's a good start, and then that we learn from what we're doing, and then now obviously tweaking it and bettering it every year.
Yeah. So the data will come out, but this is the first year of implementation for those iMath 1 and the financial literacy. I really think we're gonna see a little bit higher pass rate.
I have a final comment. I would hate for the subject matter to be, I would hate for us to tie this, if unsuccessful. I'm not saying that it couldn't be done, but if we couldn't come up with a curriculum for this 1 semester class that I'm talking about, I would hate for the subject matter to be limited by the fact that we couldn't make it qualify to be iMath 1, right? I think it's very different. I could see what you're saying, that it would trigger understanding, basic math, right? But I wouldn't want to limit. I would caution against limiting achieving a solid financial literacy class that touches on the subject the subjects that you highlight.
Sure.
Yeah. So if I saw your sheets, I mean your presentation correctly, there is already a financial literacy class in itself.
Yes. So we kind of have 3 in a sense. So if you count the iMath 1 class, and that's the financial applications inside the iMath 1.
Right.
And then we have the financial literacy class, and that's a senior level class.
Is that CTE or no?
No, that's not CTE.
It's just an elective.
No, that's actually, so it's for seniors. So we designed it so it's for kids that they struggled through iMath 1. They struggled through iMath 2. They barely made it. They couldn't get through iMath 3, and maybe they're kind of struggling. So we said seniors. Let's put the seniors in, and we got it math credit. So they're getting the 10 math credits, and that's a financial literacy full year class.
Which one is that of the ones you have here?
Called financial literacy.
Right there.
You'll see it, financial literacy class. It's
And
going to get tricky with the names. There's a personal finance class.
How many people have been enrolled in that class, Dr. Williams?
I should have known the sections. We have there's probably 6 sections at each one of the major high schools, 3 sections at West Shores, and each section is about 30 kids. Seniors only. I said only seniors at this point.
So how many kids is that?
About 180.
So we got 180, 360. You pushing my math.
Yeah.
450 ish.
And how many seniors do we have?
We have about 1,200.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Yes, sir.
Yeah, real quick, I just wanted to add, I think part of my concern, and possibly Board Member Gonzalez's concern, is that I think it's okay to embed it in other things. I think that's fine, but I think sometimes when we do that, we dilute not only the program that we're trying to promote, but also the one they're trying to learn at the same time, right? Because you have competing things in there. So again, I've always supported embedding certain things, you know, literature and all the other different arts and stuff into other programs. I think that's one of my concerns. The other thing that I would only add, like math and other subjects, when I got on the board originally, I believe I read a report that all freshmen coming into all three high schools, pretty much about 40 to 48% of them were failing math, English, or both as freshmen. And everybody went crazy. This is a high school thing. Well, that's not an actual high school thing. Obviously, they got to high school and something didn't happen. So when we're talking about financial literacy, I don't think it's also a bad idea to kind of start talking about the subjects early on as well. I mean, with some of the things that they do, you know, the big thing that everybody complains about, I know a lot of parents do, is that we don't teach cursive anymore. Nobody knows how to write stuff. You know, they can practice by learning how to write a check kind of a thing. And just small stuff that kind of, again, embeds it a little bit. So when they get to high school, it's not like, oh my God, this is a whole new world. I don't even know what they're talking about. I see all the ads on TV, but I don't. So it's the same thing we do with STEM as we're pushing it down to the lower grades. So it's the same thing we're doing with CTE. So when they get to high school, it's not just a big shock thing, like, oh my God, there's a whole thing I don't even know anything about. Is we kind of need to expose them a little bit more. And again, I go back to the concern that sometimes when we try to do some of that, not at the younger grades, but at the high school, and we start kind of trying to push it in with another subject, that somehow both subjects will get diluted a little bit, and neither one of them is usually, not always, but sometimes they're not, either one of them is successful. And I think when it comes to especially the math side, you know, I think that's one of the, and again, guilty here, man, I sucked at math. So I understand that whole plight of the math part. But when they're trying to really focus on that and we start embedding it with other things like that, I get concerned that neither one is going to they're not going to do justice to either one of them. So that would be like my only concern.
We're going to know that real soon with that data and just be able to say pass rates. We'll look at pass rates.
You, Ms. Vargas?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I think the way it's framed, like financial literacy, I think it's great. I think the concepts are still there within the financial literacy, right? Like I feel like maybe sometimes we push like you have to take calculus or, you know, the algebra 2, whatever, to be prepared. But I think that there's probably the concepts that are transferable to prepare them to be in a college level math. So I think that's more of like the goal instead of like, let's try to push the math into the financial literacy. I think it's still there. So I did want to clarify that, right? I think it's probably just, you know, preparing them for that.
Thank you. Ms. Trustee Hernandez?
I would like to add that I do agree with the dilution of the product. Sorry. I would like to agree on the dilution of the content of a course because I've recently been hearing from, since we have our multicultural class that is also embedded with our sophomore English along with our ethnic studies. And we've come to realize in future courses that they ask us about ethnic studies. And for those of us who took the multicultural course, we weren't really focused on ethnic studies. So they come and they ask us for these theories and we're like, what are you talking about? And they're like, yeah, you saw it in your ethnic studies classes. And we're like, we took multicultural. And they're like, no, yeah, they were supposed to go over that. And we're like, no, we basically just wrote essays. So I would just like to point that out.
Thank you. Mr. Arredondo?
Just one final comment. I know we pretty much beat this up, but I hope we continue to improve our financial literacy as board members have always said it's something important to the board here, and that we embedded. And I just want to say that now that I'm thinking about it, I remember this being, you know, when I was going to school in the summer courses, we had some little bit of financial literacy. So I think if in those spaces, you know, that we look at other ways to embed financial literacy in our elementary and maybe our after school program, maybe, you know, CTE courses, but I know you're working on. Thank you.
Thank you. No other comments?
I have a comment.
Dr. Sparsa?
So in regards to the foundational pieces, and as you say, thinking and mapping it out backwards, making sure that we know where students are in elementary school going to middle school and middle school going to high school. This year, Dr. Williams, myself, and a few others that we will invite, will be working with COD to ensure that we have a math camp over the summer so that we can find out where all our students are as they go into the next level. And it is the Escalante program, and the Escalante, Jaime Escalante, the famous Garfield math teacher who taught calculus. It's not going to all be about calculus, but that's the title of the program, and it's worked in several districts. It's worked in 2 districts that I've worked in, and so it's something that we are already having conversations with COD. Mr. Acuna was a part of the first preliminary conversation with the interim president, and that's something that we want to plan for this upcoming summer, as well as Keller Williams. And I've been in communication with one of the CEOs of Keller Williams of Palm Springs, and he has created, Keller himself has created a Quantum Leap, and it's a real estate program for kids and teaching young adults how to manage mortgages and get into buying commercial property and things of that nature. And so those are conversations outside of the district that we're having to see how we can partner and bring in those opportunities to all our students.
Thank you. Seeing none, I think we beat this up enough. Thank you, Dr. Williams. Moving on, action items, action item 10.1, adopt board resolution number 2024-2012 to remunerate trustee Jesus Gonzalez.
So move.
Motion by Mr. Arredondo, second by Mr. Acuna. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstain? Trustee Hernandez? Motion carries 501 abstention from Mr. Gonzalez and our student trustee in favor. Action item 11.1, requesting approval of MOU with Nichols Education Consulting.
So move.
Motion by Mr. Arredondo.
Second.
Second by Mr. Gonzalez. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Trustee Hernandez? Motion carries 6-0 with our student trustee in favor. Action item 11.2, requesting approval of service agreement with Riverside County Superintendent of Schools for Migrant Education Career Academy Partnership Program.
My motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Gonzalez, second by Mr. Arredondo. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstain? Trustee Hernandez? Motion carries 6-0, student trustee in favor. Action item 12.1, authorization to enter into a contract with Keenan and Associates for insurance coverage on the North Shore Elementary School project. Motion by Mr.
Second.
Acuna, second by Mr. Arredondo. The floor is yours, trustee Acuna.
I just wanted to, we did talk about this, I think, in the facilities committee, and we had other discussions about this, so. It looks like this is something that's coming after the fact, which it is in a sense, but this is something that, again, is part of what we do for all of them. It just kind of came in as a add-on, where maybe we should have been part of the bigger package at the time of like all in. Because I think board members, when we ask for items, we want to know what's all in, right? And this would have been part of the all in, but it was kind of done separately. So I want people to kind of maybe understand that this is something that we do for every project. We have insurance for every project, obviously, but kind of the way it came to us after not after the fact, but kind of after the original thing and added on, obviously the amount that we're going to do kind of should have all been included in the all in. And so I think moving forward, I know I have spoken to our assistant soup about some of this in making sure that when we have information and we say, what is something going to cost? It's not just the base cost, it's all the other costs that are affiliated with it, associated with it. So when we're talking about, when we go to the community and say, this is the number, that's the number, right? Otherwise, then we come back and they see, well, wait, you told us it was going to cost that much and now you're adding this one. They should have been all together to begin with because we buy insurance for everything we do. So I wanted to make that comment. And again, I have had that conversation already about making sure that when we start getting information that we're going to get what I like to call all in information. the whole package. And even if we don't pay for it at that moment, right, that we have to pay it as we do every time we hire some different contractor, get to a different phase, and not only in facilities and other things as well. So I just want to make that comment because it kind of looks like what did you forget to buy the insurance when you approved the project?
Yeah.
We didn't. We just didn't have that number originally. So
Thank you.
Yeah, just if I may, building on what Mr. Cunha said, the best way to have handled this is the cost to build the school, and there's an inevitable percentage of insurance. And so we're gonna, whatever staff basically said, well, we didn't know the number, so we didn't have the actual number for insurance. But we should have already forewarned, I believe, publicly, that if the number's 45 million and we're expected to pay X percentage, we can calculate that there's gonna be an additional X amount of money on top of whatever the winning bid is. And I that's what threw me off. But I think you're absolutely correct, Mr. Quinn.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstain? Trustee Hernandez?
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0. Student trustee in favor. Action item 12.2, authorization to enter into a lease agreement for an automated teller machine at the district office.
I have a couple questions on this. I'll just ask. Do we know what our staff is gonna get charged per transaction?
Here's Mr. Brent. Okay.
The question was, do we know what our staff is gonna be charged, the user? If they wanted to pull $20 out, what they're gonna get charged per transaction?
Good evening. I don't know that answer. I don't think Dr. Ellis does either. It would be the standard that Schools First charges.
There aren't any schools first charges if you're a
Okay.
member. It would only be a charge if you're not, if you bank somewhere else.
Okay, so if you're a teacher and you bank with them, there is no transaction charge.
Correct.
Okay, that makes me feel better. No reason I bring it up, David, is that normally an ATM company, right? And this might be a little different. I'm gonna put an ATM in your establishment. I'm willing to share the revenue, right? And I'm just hoping that whoever and how they're managing it, that teachers ain't overpaying for the transactions. Then as long as it falls within those parameters, knowing that we're not gonna get part of the benefit, right? That it should be reflected in whatever maybe even a non-banker pays for transaction, which should be about $2, right?
Yeah.
Rather than the $4, right?
Correct. We do get a benefit from having the ATM machine there for the fees that they do collect.
What
and
is our
you
percentage
can-
of participation?
Do you recall that information, David?
The current lease is still being negotiated with Dr. Ellis's staff and myself. I've given my comments, but we still have a couple of tweaks to it. At this point, the lease that I saw did not have participation in the ATM revenue. They are paying the full cost of the ATM and
No,
the
that's
utility
normal, Dave.
expenses.
That's normal. They
Right.
come in, they install it, they pay for that standard.
That's
But what I'm saying, if I own the school district and this was a private business, it wouldn't be out of the norm to say, if you're gonna charge $4, I get 2, right? Yeah, and that's normal. So I'm just giving you that information, all motion to accept staff's recommendation, but I wanted to ask, Ms. Ellis, where did you get the idea that you made a comment that we were participating?
Yeah, I believe in one of the proposals that they gave us, there is a participation to the district. I know that we haven't finalized that, but they, as far as electricity.
Don't be afraid to ask for help. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah.
Mr. Acuna?
I had a couple of other questions, but now that you mentioned something, that kind of jogged my memory. One of my, I think we were floating it around, and one of my concerns was I asked if it was going to be inside or outside. My concern was if it was going to be outside or kind of one of those safety things where you go into a little, but it wasn't actually in the district, inside the building. My concern, if we have it inside the building and it closes when the building closes, there's a glass there and some clown's going to want to break that and take the thing, and just a security thing for me. So I was always just kind of cognizant of the safety issues for the district, for our property and that kind of stuff. But Are you asking us to enter into agreement or are you asking us to allow you to negotiate an agreement with this right here?
We had hoped to have the lease agreement finalized when we brought it to the board, but in this case, what we're asking is for permission to move forward with the negotiation for the lease
So you
agreement.
need to change your motion because obviously
Yeah,
there's no lease agreement, so there's nothing, we can't authorize a lease agreement. We don't have a lease agreement that was not also shown to the public,
I think we're
obviously.
table.
So I would ask
Yeah,
that you
table.
change your motion
but
to
could we just,
to allow them to finish the negotiations and move forward with the negotiations. and then bring back at a later time.
yeah, I think the safest thing to do, Mr. Cunha, in the spirit of what you're bringing up, we should just table this and bring it back right. Yeah, I'll
I
motion to
think, I
table.
think, I mean,
That's fine.
If you want, I don't think anybody opposes moving forward. So if you want something to basically say, go ahead and negotiate, I don't have a problem doing that.
I'll withdraw my motion if that's your motion.
Hold up, hold up. Let's bring it back. Well, they've already been negotiating. You guys have permission to negotiate. Let's just table the lease agreement the way it is right now. There's no more confusion. It's written the way it is. We're gonna I motion to table 12.2.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstain? Trustee Hernandez? Thank you. Motion carries 5-0-0. Student trustee in favor. Thank you, Mr. Baca. Action item 13.1, approval of new job description for
We table.
TOSA. 13.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
For a TOSA student support.
So move.
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Acuna, second by Mr. Gonzalez. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Abstain? Trustee Hernandez?
Aye.
Motion carries. 5, 2, 4, 5, 1, 0. Student trustee in favor. Action item 13.2, approval of new job description for coordinator of child welfare.
So move.
Motion,
Second.
motion by Mr. Acuna, second by Mr. Gonzalez. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Any abstain? Trustee Hernandez?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-1-0. Student trustee in favor. Action item 13.4, approval of new job description for counselor district support services.
So move.
Motion by Mr.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Acuna, second by Mr. Gonzalez. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Abstain? Trustee Hernandez?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-1-0. Student trustee in favor. Action item 13.10, approval of revised job description for reading specialist and literacy coach.
Comment.
Go ahead and make your comment, sir.
So I think, Dr. Esparza, this question is for you. My understanding in reading this document is that this is paid for by the state. So this is not in our budget, but this is funds provided by the state, and therefore this is what we're voting on tonight.
Yes, and 4 of them were provided at the beginning of the year, beginning this January. And we tweaked the contract a little bit to add, instead of it just being literacy for ELA, that it's literacy in content areas, in different content areas. So we would be able to include, if we needed to have literacy and numeracy in math. So that's the only change in this job description, but it's already been approved. And we received money for this year to add on 5 more literacy coaches, and the state again is paying for these literacy coaches. Most of them have received over $500,000 to support them for 4 years. Some of them are all the way up to 700,000. So it's millions of dollars that the state has given us to provide literacy coaches at our school sites.
So for the record, I should say this, no fiscal impact to our budget.
No fiscal impact.
Thank you, Dr. Esparza.
Is that a motion, Mr. Redondo?
Yes, sir.
I'll
That's a
second.
motion.
Motion by Mr. Redondo, second by Mr. Gonzalez. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstain? Trustee Hernandez?
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0-0.
I just wanted to,
Trustee in favor.
I know you did send me that information. I apologize when I was doing the ones. I added that one by mistake. Thank you for reminding me that that was a separate one. Because you did send me you guys did send me the information.
Thank you. Consent calendar. All matters listed under the consent calendar are considered by the board to be routine and will be acted upon in one motion. There will be no discussion of these items prior to the time the board considers a motion unless members of the board or staff request specific items to be discussed and or removed from the consent calendar, in which event the items will be considered separately. the superintendent, assistant superintendent of educational services, assistant superintendent of business and finance, and assistant superintendent of HR recommend the approval of all consent calendar items.
I'll motion to approve the consent calendar respecting any board member wanting to pull any item.
I'll second that.
Awesome. There's
I'd like to pull a couple of them.
okay.
16.5.
Which was that, Joe?
16.5.
Okay.
16.7, 18.3, and 18.4.
Point seven.
Yeah. 18.3 and 18.4.
Trustee Gonzalez and trustee Acuna, do you accept those amendments to your motion?
Absolutely.
Trustee Acuna, trustee Arredondo, sorry.
I do.
Dude, how did I miss that?
Okay,
Oh,
awesome.
okay, sorry.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Abstain? Trustee Hernandez?
Aye.
Motion carries 600, student trustee in favor. Item 16.5. Requesting approval of MOU with Riverside County Superintendent of Schools for Read With Me volunteer programs.
Yeah, I had a couple of questions about this program. I had, in the past, when the original contract came out, I had requested that we should have the same rights as the county to remove people from site or to terminate the program if we saw fit. I just felt as a district that we should have the same rights as all the other participants on that. I've been assured that we can do that. I'm not sure. I didn't see where we can terminate the program on there. I did see where you referred me back to where we have the right to remove people. And the reason I want that to be clear is because we have had some incidents with some individuals before where a couple of them have at least, depending on what side you're talking about, either attacked or strongly demanded things from some of our staff, especially our CSEA staff. And there were individuals, I'm not talking about the program as a whole. The program as a whole has a lot of good people, but I think we need to build those safeguards into that program. The other thing I had also requested is, in the past, it seemed like the program has been kind of a free-for-all. Like everybody kind of does whatever they do. And, sometimes I would question if the Read With Me people weren't setting the agenda, not necessarily the school district, based on comments that were made to the principals in the past and stuff. And I'd really like, I think this program is a good program. I think it can help our kids, but I think we really have to have a structure on what they're actually going to be doing and how they do it. And the principals need to kind of, in a sense, really take the lead on with working with guidelines and stuff. So I think it's a good program, but if we don't have a handle on it, put some guidelines or some guardrails, if you want to say, around it, I think it can go a little crazy at any given school.
Yeah.
And then, not to, say anything bad, but we have a lot of new principals who aren't kind of used to these programs, and they're going to come and say, oh, well, this is how we used to do it. And the new principal is going to go, okay, well, so I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page of what we're doing. So it's not just kind of a free for all. I think it's a worthy program. I think it can help our students, but if it's a program that doesn't have any kind of where we're taking it, like obvious kind of end results, what are we getting at the end of the day? It's just program, right?
Yeah.
So I just wanted to make sure that, and again, Dr. Sparks, I'm assuming that's going to be kind of in your court. So I wanted to make that clear, that I kind of, as one board member, am expecting to make sure that those things are all done.
So, do you have a motion?
I'll motion to approve. I do still have a concern with not being able to terminate the program, as the county has the authority to, but if the rest of the board's okay with that,
I'll second the
let it
motion.
go.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Sparsa, you took notes of Mr. Acuña's comments? Thank you, ma'am. There's a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstain? Trustee Hernandez? Motion carries 600. Student trustee in favor. Item 16.7, requesting approval of purchase order for children and family services.
I actually don't have an opposition to this particular thing. It's just that in the past, board members have asked other departments to show like a list of things that they're going to buy and all kinds of this other stuff. And I think it's overkill myself. If it's a purchase order, they know the rules of what they can and can't buy. But I want to know what's going to be our process. Are we going to ask that? Because if we're going to ask that from one department, I want it asked to all departments. And if we're not going to ask it to all departments, I'm fine with that. I think it's overkill. But I just like to know what is going to be our process. If you know, because we pick and choose sometimes, right? Oh, I want to know what this project is doing. Well, you're spending, you know, in this case, a few $100,000. I want to know what you're buying. As long as you're following the criteria, and you're going to get in trouble if you don't, I'm okay with it. I don't need a list of all the pencils you're going to buy and the crayons, right? I don't need that. But in the past, it has been requested from some board members that we do that. So I'd like to know what's our policy. I want to treat everybody the same.
And I agree. My comment is, it does say instructional materials and parent engagement. So it's in line with the last time that we got a request from the after school program, and they use the same language. So I think we're doing what we normally do.
Thank
in my
you.
opinion.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Is there a
Again, I
second?
have no problem with it. I'm
Okay.
fine with it.
Motion by Mr. Acuna, second by Mr. Arredondo. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Trustee Hernandez? Motion carries 6-0-0. Student trustee in favor. Item 18.3. And 18.
18.4, we can do it together.
18.4. I think, so I know we tabled these items last time, and in my discussion with Dr. Ellis, it is my understanding that we already have students from, these MOUs are attached to current CVUSD employees who might or might not have been our students, but they're looking to get their field work and their teaching experience
Right.
with us.
I did see the response. Thank you for the response. I just, being me, I want it to be said publicly that it's our kids that are getting priority seats on this. Because inevitably we get a call from someone saying, yeah, I've been trying to get into that and I can't get into that. And there are people that are working for us.
But is that factual? Are they our students?
Some of them work for us. Some of them are going through the program that are coming from our areas or are substitutes, or they're different people. They come in different ways. That's why there's no like one kind of, they're all like this or they're all like that. They're all in different ways of how they come to us. But many of them are from our region here. And I'm not only saying kids that came out of CV High School or Desert Mirage, but Indio High School, like some of our neighboring districts, that can be helpful to us as well. So, I mean, I want it said publicly that this is our focus, so the community understands that we are trying. You know, we tell our kids to go get a degree, go to college, come back, serve your community. And I'd like to make sure the community understands that when they do come back, we're going to give them every opportunity that we can.
Amen. Dr. Ellis, before we take a vote, can you confirm with us that that is the case?
Yes, absolutely. They are students within our area that choose our district. They have to complete student teaching at one of the districts. They selected our district.
Oh, he said something different. So they're students within our area, or they're our students?
Both. Some of them are our students, some of them are our current employees that maybe were substitute teachers or paraprofessionals that are going into teaching. So then they have to complete their student teaching hours.
But did you hear what Mr. Acuna said? That the objective should be that we have students that are trying to get into these programs that actually went to our schools, went out to a university like UCR, want to come back and do this, and there's no spots for them, or that we're not accommodating them. And yet we have, these relationships with these universities from I don't know where, and I don't know how we develop these relationships or why they're a priority. We're obviously voting on them. I guess, do we know it's fact that we're accommodating students, either students that came to school here and or students or people that are working here that are trying to do a credential program?
Yes.
Yeah, so my understanding is that, right, a student that's completing a program in whether it be online or in person, they have to come to the district to have an MOU with that institution. Otherwise, they can't complete the work there. So the students are choosing these universities and therefore asking us to have an MOU with them so that they can continue their work.
So if I'm understanding correctly, the relationship is with the student itself, not necessarily with the university?
Correct. The students, we work with the students, they come to us, they're already attending, usually online, like the Humboldt they're online students, but they're already within our area, our district. They're asking us to support them in their student teaching. and then they complete their teaching credential. And then we can hire them either as an intern or as a fully credentialed teacher.
How many students are we talking? This is for two.
I'll motion to approve both. But I want to be able to tell trustee Hernandez, go to college and you want to come back and work in the district, you're going to be a priority because we're from here, work with you, we ask you to come back and be back. So that's kind of my point to the, not only to her, but to the community and to their parents who are saying, yeah, we want you to come back and help our community.
And we haven't had to decline any of our student teachers. We are able to accept all of them. There isn't a maximum because we have teachers within our district that are willing to be the master teacher and work alongside them. So we haven't had to decline any of them.
Okay, thank you. Is there a motion? Let's do 18.3.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Acuna, second by Mr. Redondo. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstained? Trustee Hernandez? Motion carries 6-0-0. Student trustee in favor. 18.4, approval of MOU between U.S. University College of Education and CVUSD.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Arredondo, motion by Mr. Acuna, second by Mr. Arredondo. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstain? Trustee Hernandez? Motion carries 6-0-0.
I just have a final comment. Can we just make sure that we're doing our job as it relates to our students or students from UCR that are trying to get placed? And can we confirm that we don't have people waiting? Because I understand that might be a fact, that we got people that are waiting and yet we're establishing these new relationships and we're not giving local students an opportunity. And I just want to make sure that's fact.
Thank you. Motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Oh, you got a comment?
Yeah, could I just say something? Not to go off that, but just really quick. I know that there is a meeting with UCR here to recruit teachers. So on October 4th, if my understanding is from 5:30 to 7:30, we're gonna have a meeting with UCR to encourage people who have their degrees and want to have a master's degree and a credential in 1 year. So I hope that everybody that needs a teaching credential and that will come here. Thank you. I second that motion.
Yeah, I guess I motioned to adjourn. Did I? Yeah.
As long as we don't have
Okay.
just stuff pending.
I motion to adjourn. Mr. Redondo second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstain? Trustee Hernandez? Motion carries 6-0-0. Trustee Hernandez in favor. Meeting adjourned.